Beginning on March 24th of 2023, a rapid increase in the number of daily seismic events occurred at the towering and glacier-covered volcano known as Nevado del Ruiz, which happens to be one of the planet's most historically deadly volcanoes. By March 28th, the number of daily seismic events had increased to 6,500, marking the most Nevado del Ruiz had produced in a day since 2010. The following day, this figure jumped to 11,000 seismic events, marking the most ever recorded from this volcano since it was first properly monitored, even being more than recorded on the days on and surrounding its devastating November 13, 1985 eruption, which caused approximately 25,000 fatalities, most of whom lived in the town of Amaro, 47 kilometers away from its summit. While that 1985 eruption was only medium-sized in terms of volcanic eruptions around the world, it was large in the context of the last 400 years at Nevado del Ruiz. The reason that eruption was so deadly yet only barely registered in as a 3 on the 0 to 9 volcanic explosivity index relates to the abundant and thick glaciers at the summit of Nevado del Ruiz. When an unusually powerful eruption occurred on November 13, 1985, the eruption released several hundred degrees Celsius pyroclastic flows, and this heat rapidly melted approximately 14% of the entire glacial ice present on the volcano, causing a torrent of mud, superheated ash, water, and debris to race down slope at a speed of 50 km per hour or 31 miles per hour via what is known as a lahar. This lahar created a wall of material up to 40 meters or 131 feet high, which bulldozed all structures it encountered. Reaching the town of Amaro a little less than 2.5 hours later, the lahar quickly wiped out the town and led to 20,000 fatalities. Similar lahars from that eruption occurred in other drainages of Nevado del Ruiz on that terrible day, including to the west-northwest, where it also caused a large loss of life in the town of Chinchina. Back to the current situation in April of 2023, I want to remind my viewers that Nevado del Ruiz has been erupting intermittently for much of the last decade and is technically erupting at a low intensity right now. The dramatic spike in earthquakes which occurred was believed to be caused by a new intrusion of magma moving from southwest to northeast at a depth of approximately 2 to 4 kilometers underneath the top of Nevado del Ruiz. Although not proven, in my opinion, this new intrusion is likely volatile-rich and has a high silica content, hence the number of earthquakes it is producing. As a result, the alert level was raised at this volcano from yellow to orange, with orange meaning that a larger than typical volcanic eruption is possible in the next several days to weeks. Such an eruption could, in a worst-case scenario, generate long-reaching and destructive lahars due to melting of the glacial ice on Nevado del Ruiz, possibly reaching areas as far away as 75 kilometers distant from its summit. However, local authorities will only order an evacuation if the situation continues to progress and a large eruption does become all the more likely. Thus, I ask everyone who lives within 75 kilometers of this volcano to pause the video and click on the link in the video description, as it will bring you to a hazard map that shows if you live in an area which could be affected by pyroclastic flows and/or lahars. With all of this being said, a large volcanic eruption is far from a certainty. In fact, the current situation marks the 6th time since 1987 that Nevado del Ruiz has been at an orange alert level, with the other 5 prior occasions being shown for comparison. None of these 5 instances produced a similar sized or larger eruption than what Nevado del Ruiz produced on November 13th of 1985. Thus, while a medium or even large-sized eruption is theoretically possible, past statistics suggest that one will probably not occur, with even a medium-sized eruption not being a certainty. Thus, here are a series of outcomes which might occur which are completely based on my opinion and are ranked from most likely to least likely. In other words, in my opinion, a large eruption which may or may not generate a destructive lahar is theoretically possible but overall unlikely. There is not currently a reason to panic right now in my opinion, but because there is a very small possibility that something destructive could occur, even if it is unlikely, keep your eyes and ears peeled for further developments. I would like to thank this channel's patrons on Patreon and channel members on YouTube.